Jai Anilo Premadano Karma Kacho
Ashwadhara Sri Srimad Sarvaya Samhai Charanarana Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai Vishnu Pad Bhad Krishna Ashwadhara Sri Srimad Sarvaya Krishna Saraswati Goswami Maharaj ki Ananda Koti Vaishnava Iskan Devi ki Namachan Prabhupada Ram Acharya Sri Haridas Thakur Sri Krishna Chaitanya Sri Vasari Gaura Bhakti Sri Radha Krishna Gopal Kam Radha Giri Govardhan Sri Vrindavan Dham Sri Mayapur Nagati Dham Ganga Maya ki Jai Chamuna Maya ki Jai Bhakti Devi ki Jai Tusi Devi ki Jai Namaletha Bhakti Devi ki Jai Vithai Gaura Premanandi. All glories to this all glories to this all glories to this glories to Shiva A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai Om Shubhar Paramahamsa Vinrajagacharya Skodra Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai Ananta Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki Jai Prem Sivaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivedanta ki Jai Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopina Sham Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan ki Jai Vrindavan Dham ki Jai Navadvip Dham ki Jai Jagannath Puri ki Jai Gangamayi ki Jai Jamuna Mayi ki Jai Bhakti Devi ki Jai Tulsi Devi ki Jai Sumedha Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai Sri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai Sri Sri Radha Kalachanje ki Jai Shri Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj ki Jai Gaur Pramanandi. All glories to the Son. All glories to the Son. All glories to the Son. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gaur. His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vrinihi Kamam Nipa Yan Mano Gatam Matas Tvam Otam Pade Abhishankitaha Varam Raro Ambuja Nava Anantaram Tvam Sayam Anga Sushuma. Vrinihi Kamam Nipayan Mano Katham Matastvam Othanapade Vishankitaha Varam Vararom Bhujanapapadayo Anantaram Tvam Vayamanga Shushma Rinihi Kaman Ripayan Manokatham Matastvamothanapade Vishankitaha Varam Vararom Bhujanapapadayo Anantaram Tvam Vayamanga Shushma Rinihi Kamam Nripayan Manokatham Matastvamothanapade Vishankitaha Varam Vararom Bhujanapapadayo Anantaram Tvam Vayamanga Shushma
Vinihi Kama Nipayan Manogatam Matasvam Athanapade Vishankita Varam Varaho Bhujanapadayo Anantaram Tvam Vayamanga Shushma
Vinihi Kamam Nipayan Manogatam Matasvam Athanapade Vishankita Varam Bhujanapadayo Anantaram Tvam Vayamanga Shushma
Rinihi Kamam Nipayan Manogatam Matastvamothanapade Vishankitaha Varam Varaho Bhujanapapadayor Anantaram Tvam Vayamanga Shushma
Please ask.
Calm,
Desire.
Nirvana,
Okay. Yeah.
whatever.
Managatam. Within your mind. Mata. From me. Tvam. You. Othanapade. O son of Maharaj Uthanapade. Avishankita. Without hesitation. Varam. Benediction. Vara Arha. Worthy to take benediction.
Ambuja, lotus flower, Nava, whose navel, Adayo, at his lotus feet, Anantaram, constantly, From, about you, Bayam, we, Anga, dear Dhruva, Shushma, my dear Dhruva Maharaj, son of Maharaj Radhanath, we have heard that you are constantly engaged in transcendental loving service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known for his lotus navel. You are therefore worthy to take all benedictions from us. Please, therefore, ask without hesitation whatever benediction you want from me. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Dhruva Maharaj, the son of King Radhanath, was already known throughout the universe as a great devotee of the Lord, constantly thinking of his lotus feet. Such a pure, uncontaminated devotee of the Lord is worthy to have all the benedictions that can be offered by the demigods. He does not have to worship the demigods separately for such benedictions. Kubera is the treasure of the demigods, and he is personally offering whatever benediction Dhruva Maharaj would like to have from him. Srila Bilva Mangala Thakur stated, therefore, that for persons who engage in devotional service of the Lord, all benedictions wait like maidservants. Mukti Devi is just waiting at the door of the devotee to offer liberation, or more than that, at any time. To be a devotee is therefore an exalted position. Simply by rendering transcendental loving service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one can have all the benedictions of the world without separate endeavor. Lord Kuvera said to Dhruva Maharaj that he had heard that Dhruva was always in samadhi, or thinking of the lotus feet of the Lord. In other words, he knew that for Dhruva Maharaj there is nothing desirable within the three material worlds. He knew that Dhruva Maharaj would ask for nothing but to remember the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord constantly. Om Ajnanamidam Yananjana Chalakaya Chakshuru Viditam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manokisham Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Bhagadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Jitapatakalam Sri Guru Vaishnavam Nischa Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Saragana Radhanatham Tam Sajivam Shadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakam Sri Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinavandhu Jagapate Govesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Navosate Tapta Kanchana Gaurandi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Suri Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Sindhuya eva chaktihanam bhavavyo Vaishnavyo namo namah. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivedanta. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. My dear Guru Maharaj, son of Maharaj, we have heard that you are constantly engaged in transcendental loving service to the Supreme Personality of God, who is known for his lotus name. You are therefore worthy to take all benedictions from us. Please, therefore, ask without hesitation whatever benediction you want from me. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 12, entitled Guru Maharaj Goes Back to Godhead. Text number 7. Here we find Kubera, the treasurer of the demigods, offering any benediction within his power to Guru Maharaj. Kubera was very pleased with him. And why he was pleased is very significant for us to understand in our own spiritual lives. Guru Maharaj's beloved brother, Uttam, was slain. He was murdered by a group of yakshas. Guru Maharaj, being the king of the world, understood it was his duty to bring justice. Guru Maharaj performed his role as king specifically in the spirit of service. He wanted nothing for himself. The background of his life, we all know, when he was insulted treacherously by his stepmother, and his father took her side. By his silence, he went to the forest. With the encouragement of his mother, he went deep into the jungle, although he was only 5 years old, with such intense determination. He was committed to seeing the Supreme Personality of God, to receive the benediction that he would have a kingdom greater than his father or his grandfather. His father was king of the world. His grandfather was greater than the king of the world. His great-grandfather was the king of the universe, Brahma. He wanted a kingdom greater than theirs. By the mercy of Krishna or his Guru, coming in contact with a proper spiritual master does not happen by chance. It is a reciprocation to our desire, perhaps in this life or perhaps in previous lives. And Krishna brings us into the association of spiritual entities. So King Maharaj is all alone in the secluded forest. And Narada Muni arrangement of the Lord happened to appear right there. First he wanted to test Dhruva's sincerity. Where would you go? You're just 5 years old. What is this business about such determination to see God? Just forget about all that's happening. Be forgiven. Have a nice year home. The palace of the king of the planet is waiting for you to enjoy the riches. Dhruva Maharaj could not accept that. So Narayana was pleased. He gave him a mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Chanting for deliverance in the Satya Yuga. And he taught him to perform tapasya. Severe tapasya. And he taught him to worship the deity. He taught him what is the nature of the form of the Lord, how to make a deity of the Lord, how to always meditate on the bodily things of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada gave us the same thing. He gave us the Maha Mantra in the age of Kali, Maha Mantra. The 4 regulative principles, no illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling. To follow them in the age of Kali is equal to Dhruva Maharaj performing his tapasya. Every month, he ate some of the fruits that the monkeys eat. And the next month, he only took the leaves that fell from the trees. And the next month, he only drank little water. Next month, he only breathed. The next month, he stopped breathing. Hare Krishna. If we can just follow the 4 regulative principles, we will get that credit. Prabhupada's mercy. But that's not that easy in the age of Kali. Some of us may have discovered. It takes determination. Drita Brata. Without determination, we don't have character. One time a devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, what if I don't have determination? Prabhupada said, then you are an animal. The difference between human life and animal life is determination. What is so much required in this world is people with character. Real character is very much dependent on our willingness to make sacrifices for what is right. Our willingness to even suffer and tolerate the urges of the mind, the senses, and the society around us, the environment around us, for a higher cause. Real happiness comes by this tapasya, for the purpose of Krishna consciousness, divine realization. So Dhruva Maharaj followed Narada's instructions. And he became completely absorbed. The Lord actually appeared right within his heart. The Lord's in everyone's heart. Ishvara Sarvabhutana Hrideshna. Krishna is in everyone's heart. But unless the temple of our heart is clean, we can't see him. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching in the pastime of cleansing the teaching temple. That if we want the Lord to reveal himself within our heart, we must make our heart a proper temple. Which means it must be immaculately clean. Actually, Srila Prabhupada explained 2 most important principles in deity worship: cleanliness and punctuality. Of course, the ultimate expression of deity worship is spiritual love, pure devotion. to attain that pure love. We have to express it through our attentiveness, through our desire, through recognizing that Krishna is a person. If we actually are conscious that Sri Sri Radha Kalachandra is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, its eternal beloved consort, Sri Radhika, then we must deal with it in that way. On the path of Nidhi Bhakti, regulative principles is essential. We cannot skip over this unless we really, really have incredible spontaneous love. We read about great acharyas like Radhanath and Tamal. He would just beg and cry, Krishna, eat, eat, eat. Gopinath said, I already ate. He said, but the food's still here. He said, I know, but it's prasad, I glance at it. He said, well, I don't know what is this glance. All I know is my father, he told me to offer this food for you, and you would eat it. And because I had no love, I had no devotion, you didn't eat it. I'm so fallen, please eat. He was weeping, so Krishna came down off the altar and ate everything. His mother was waiting. He came off the plate, he came off the altar with an empty plate. Mother was wondering, why is he on the altar so long? Why am I hearing all these noises? So he was only 5 years old too. You Vaishnavi ladies, if your 5-year-old son came off the altar with an empty plate, what would you think? Well, Prabhupada, mother was also thinking like that. She didn't say anything. She waited till her husband Mukunda came home. Mukunda Sarkar. He was a doctor, physician for the king. He came home waiting. Where's prasad? Mother said, there is no prasad. You didn't prepare. Yes, I prepared. Where is it? Your son Raghunandan, on your instruction, he brought the bhoga into the altar and he came out with an empty plate. So, Sarkar, Raghunandan, what happened to the prasad? He said, Krishna ate it. He told me Krishna would eat it. He ate it. He eats it. He leaves prasad. He said, he ate it. He asked him what happened, and he told him. So this is spontaneous. Gauri Das Pandit, his deities, he would stand over the deities with a stick and say, eat, I want to see you eat. The deities would be so afraid of him, they would eat. Now, if you do that, you are destined for the lower regions. He could do that because spontaneously, which is so rare. Srila Prabhupada explained in our deity worship, to actually develop the proper consciousness that Krishna is the person, is waiting for our emotional service. Punctuality and cleverness is essential. So, unless our heart is very, very clean, Prabhupada said, when you clean the temple, you clean your heart. He said, when you clean your pots, you clean your heart. So the whole purpose of human life is simply to clean our heart. When our heart is clean, Krishna reveals himself. The heart is like a mirror. It is meant to reflect God within. But what happens when a mirror is covered with debris, pollution, dust, and dirt? All you see is that dust and dirt. So our mind is in the present state. Mind means the heart, in this sense. Mind is within the heart. Mind is not in the head. Mind is in the heart. uses the brain to deal with the external world. The mind is within the heart. When our mind has lust, anger, envy, pride, greed, and illusion, that's all we see. That's what we see as our identity. The form of God is obscure. But through the process of chanting the holy names, in the spirit of being the humble and neglected grass, more tolerant than a tree, ready to offer all respect to others and expect none in return. That type of chanting of the holy name cleans the heart very rapidly. And then we see ourselves in the mirror of the mind. We see Krishna, who is manifested within. So Dhruva Maharaj, because he attained the favor of Narada Muni, Krishna revealed himself as an ecstasy. And Krishna disappeared. And Dhruva Maharaj opened his eyes, and he saw outside of himself that exact same form that was within his heart standing in front of him. And he so much wanted to offer prayers, glorification to the Lord, but he was 5 years old. That means he was kindergarten age. So what kind of prayers could he compose? Krishna says in Gita that he preserves what we have and he carries what we lack if we just have the proper desire. So Krishna placed his Kanksha on Dhruva Maharaj's head and empowered it in such a way that Goddess Saraswati just appeared on his tongue to speak exactly what his eternal soul wanted to express in love for Krishna. Beautiful prayers. The Lord offered him benediction. Anything you want. You want kingdom greater than your father, grandfather, it's yours. And Maharaj said, my Lord, I was looking for broken pieces of glass, and I have attained the rare diamond of your darshan. I have no desires. Let me always remember you and never forget you. That is the only benediction I desire. Param Swami Prabhupada, Krishna tells in Gita, unless we experience the higher taste, we cannot give up our attachments to this world. Through other mechanical processes of religion or yoga, we may be able to restrain our senses, perform severe austerities, but that seed of desire remains within the heart. And ultimately, even if you attain mukti, eventually you will likely fall down looking for the pleasure of love. Because love is the essential need of every living being. Because love is the nature of the soul. Perfect, unconditional, unmotivated love. Without that, you're like fish out of water in this material world. Anything we attain will never satisfy us. It may temporarily satisfy us, but even that is an illusion. The fish is laying in the sand. Just like recently, these whales were washed up onto the sand. So they kept trying to put them back in the water because they can't survive. They can't be happy. You can take a fish and you can give him a beautiful house, beautiful female fishes, nice jewelry, decorations, diamond crown. Mentally, he may find some happiness there. But essentially, he's starving. He's dying. He's unsatisfied. He just needs to be put in the water. That is our condition. And civilization that is advanced is a civilization that understands what are the needs of the soul. The body finds the automobile finds satisfaction with some gasoline or oil. But the driver finds no happiness in that. He cannot live. He needs his type of food. If you put chapatis in your gas tank, it's not what it needs more than that. So there's physical food, physical shelter, physical matters that maintain the body are required. After all, we have to be realistic. Somebody puts samosas in oil tank. What is that? It's prasad. Prabhupada says he's not. Utility is the principle. You have to be realistic. You have to give the body what it needs. You have to give the mind what it needs, but ultimately we have to give the soul what it needs. Because the body and the mind are only meant to serve the interest of the soul. The soul needs unconditional, unmotivated love. That is the higher place. When we have that, we are satisfied with any situation. To describe, just like a man who is actually self-realized in Krishna consciousness, he is like the ocean. Rivers flow. Don't disturb the ocean. Because of the great volume and depth of the happiness of the great personality who knows Krishna. Those that can tolerate the things of this world. So the Guru Maharaj had attained that love. Therefore, it was practically, he felt embarrassed that he was even asked to take a kingdom, money, wealth, power, fame, family. However, Krishna, after giving him pure devotional service, told him your service is to be the king. You get married, you have children, you sit on the throne, you rule the world. He did it as a service. Great sacrifice. He was happy just in that forest. Simple living. He was simple living, high thinking as the king of the world. So whatever he did as king was simply for the pleasure of Krishna. He was not concerned with fame, with power, with control, with wealth. Only service to his Guru Maharaj. Tamal Krishna Goswami, what an illustrious example he was. Whatever Prabhupada asked him to do. 68, I think it was, in San Francisco. He was a brand new devotee. At least that's what it appeared like in this life. And Srila Prabhupada wanted Harinam Sankirtan. That was the basis of our movement in those days. Going out in the streets and chanting. There were no books to distribute practically. Srila Prabhupada, he himself, personally, used to go to Concord Square Park, Washington Square Park, New York City, and he would personally lead the Harinam Kirtan. You see those videos? I agree with Prabhu, sometimes they have band marching bass drum, boom, 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 boom. But there was nothing, no kartals, no diamonds. Someone gave Prabhupada a bongo drum. And the first record that Prabhupada made, that record actually made the Beatles' Krishna Consciousness, George Harrison. He heard that record, and he played it so many times that the grooves wore out. And he was searching for a devotee to get another copy of that record. And he chose if you hear that record, Prabhupada's just playing a little bongo drum, and it sounds as melodious as any mudana that is descended from the spiritual world. Because he played with such love and devotion. So Goswami Maharaj understood Prabhupada wants Harinam Kirtan. So he, at that time, there were just a few devotees kind of going out. It was very disorganized. He actually organized it. He made it an all-attractive, first-class Harinam Sankirtan. First in the history of the Western world. Regulated, they looked attractive, they played attractive, they danced attractive, everything. Prabhupada was so pleased with him, so pleased. He told him to travel all around, travel with Prabhupada wherever he went, just go out and do Harinam Kirtan. It's like Prabhupada was so pleased with this Kirtan party. He wanted it to be his own personal party, traveling with him around the world. Well, so they went up to Seattle, I think, then they came down to Los Angeles, and they saw the condition of the temple. The president was a great Vaishnava. Had to have a job, so many things. Devotees were joining, there was no standards, there was not much cleanliness, there was not much organization, there was not much sadhana. Very important place. Prabhupada told Tamal Krishna Goswami to stay here. He had to give up traveling all over the world with Prabhupada doing Harinam Sankirtan. He was a brahmachari. To live in a temple full of ladies, a few men, really disorganized. But he made it the world-class standard for temples. That temple became the standard for the whole world of how to do things. And the devotees went to London. In London, there were 6 masters there, Prabhupada came. London is such an important place. That's actually where Bhaktivedanta Swami was sending his disciples to start the Hare Krishna movement to the Western world. Prabhupada's entire youth was under the British rule. So London was considered to be the center of the universe. At least that's the way the British promoted it. The sun never sets in the British Empire. It was true. The British controlled India, Australia, Hong Kong, and they controlled, at one time they controlled America, the whole United States of America and Canada, and so many parts of Africa and Europe. Of course, everything's temporary. Now, they just had that one little island, and there's so much rain. He just said the sun never rises. So Prabhupada, he came there and he saw the devotees, they were really, really sincere. That organization, actual preaching. And called Tamal Krishna Goswami coming, established the preaching. Mataji, who was in San Francisco, who was in London, was later in India. She said, we used to just get things started, but Prabhupada would send Tamal Krishna Goswami actually establish real preaching and real standards. Prabhupada went to India. Who did he call to be the GBC, to be his right hand in all affairs? Tamal Krishna Goswami. In those days, very, very, very difficult conditions. We get it from the devotees. They had no money, practically no contacts. Foreign land. Always getting sick, diseased. Pushed forward such responsibilities, and Srila Prabhupada gave him tasks that were impossible, that no one else in the movement could do. He would do it. He had such determination to please his spiritual master. It wasn't a question of what's possible and not possible. It wasn't a question of whether something creates physical and emotional suffering or whether it creates happiness. The only question is, where please should we go? That is devotional service. That is pure devotional service. So Dhruva Maharaj, he was willing to accept being king. And I think more difficult than that was for Tamal Krishna Goswami and GBC for India. One of those days. It's a type of a king also. Wonderful to see. So Dhruva Maharaj ruled the citizens, and then his brother was killed. What an insult. Not only an insult, what an injustice. He was not going to allow that. So he went to the kingdom of the Yakshas and declared war. In the previous chapter, we find what was the nature of this war. It was really a battle. Dhruva Maharaj fought against them practically single-handedly. And they were not just warriors, they had millions of soldiers, but they were all mystic yogis as well. They had powers. They could create illusions. They could actually create, just from chanting mantras, tidal waves and blood and pus pouring from the sky and lions and tigers and venomous snakes by the millions just pouring out of the sky. All directed specifically at Dhruva. There you go. Viet Cong. Nazi Germans, they couldn't fight like that. But Maharaj, when he saw all of this, the great Brahmins and sages, they said, Dhruva Maharaj, just remember Krishna, chant his names. What else could he do? He just remembered Krishna and chanted his name, and all the illusions of the Yakshas was dispelled. Which is very, very symbolic. The Maya, her illusory energy, she's creating so many incomprehensible, insurmountable illusions that are always attacking us, sometimes more than others. It seems like a little Dhruva just standing in the battlefield alone, and there's tidal waves of passion and anger and envy, greed, and there's all these venomous serpents of desires just attacking us with flaming mouths and angry eyes, and lions and tigers and elephants, stew of the earth. How many of you have that experience? That's what it's like trying to be a devotee and fight against Maya. But just remember Krishna sincerely. helplessly, with humility. Take shelter of his name, and all the illusions will be resolved. That was true. Then he was shooting these arrows. He was annihilating. He was exterminating the entire Yaksha dynasty. But then, Swami Prabhupada came down and told Dhruva, enough is enough. They're defeated. They're defeated. Let them be. So Dhruva Maharaj controlled his anger. He became compassionate in another way. And Kubera was so pleased by Dhruva Maharaj's compassion. He was so pleased by Dhruva Maharaj's willingness to control his anger, to control his enmity, that he personally came down to offer him all benedictions. If we want to please Krishna, we have to be willing to put aside our enmity, our envy, our hatred, our anger for everyone and anyone. That pleases Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam says, explains the 9th canto, that the first quality of a Brahmin is forgiveness. Kshatriyas, they have to mete out justice. Ultimately, in their hearts, they're forgiven. That is Vaishnava. And they act according to the law and the rules, what's best for society, but the heart, so Dhruva Maharaj, because he had this quality of forgiveness, because he gave up his enmity even to his enemies within his heart, he showed compassion. The Lord was so very, very pleased with him, because this is very difficult to do in this age. We see in the world so much of it, bloodshed, violence, and suffering is due to grudges, enmity that have literally existed for generations, for centuries. The problem between Pakistan and India, they were all Indians at one time. They were all Hindus, some converted. And somehow or other, years ago, generations ago, there was some problem, and that enmity is not forgotten. Therefore, they're worse enemies. In the Middle East, the Palestinians and the Israelis, they're born to hate each other practically. They're born to distrust each other. Where do they inherit it from? From generations and generations ago, something happened. In fact, one time I was told that the Muslims hate the Jews because back about the time of Abraham, what was that, about 7,000 years ago? The mother of Isaac, who was the father of all the Jews, the mother of Sarah, she told her husband Abraham that we have to get rid of the mother and the son Ishmael because he's older than my son and there was like a coronation ceremony, you know that story. They were coronating Isaac and Ishmael took the scepter from him. So she said, this is going to be trouble. So they banished him. So since that time, they hate. 7,000 years ago. Haribo. Still haven't forgiven. Doesn't make sense. But that's the nature of enmity. It's very difficult to do. And someone cheats us, someone hurts us. But the power of the Vaishnava is to forgive. The power of the Vaishnava is compassion. So Dhruva Maharaj, he manifested this power, this strength. To conquer someone with brute force and weapons is one type of power. But a power millions of times greater than that is the power of restraint and forgiveness. And real intelligence is to understand what Krishna wants, which one of those he wants, according to time, place, and circumstance. That is actual management. Forgiving heart, but discriminating time, place, and circumstance, how can we best serve? To be hard like thunderbolt and soft like rose. According to the need, Tamal Krishna Goswami. He was famous throughout the 14 worlds for his thunderbolts. But those who knew him intimately understood his heart was softer than the softest, most fragrant rose. He was so loving, he was so caring, he was so loving, so motherly, so friendly, so affectionate, so humble. His heart. But in service with Prabhupada, when the need came, the thunderbolts came. It appeared to be like the stones from over on you. Jesus. It could be intense and hard. Stones from over on you. To us, they appear very hard. But actually, when Krishna and the cows and the gopas and the gopis would walk, every time they placed their foot, the stones would become soft like butter to please them. So, Dhruva Maharaj gave up his enmity. And herein, Kuvera, so happy, so pleased, that no one could do this unless they were constantly engaged in service of the Supreme Personality. He is praising him in this way. My dear Dhruva Maharaj, son of Maharaj from Tamal, we have heard that you are constantly engaged in transcendental loving service to the Supreme Personality of God, who is known for his lotus game. You are therefore worthy to take all benedictions from us. Please, therefore, ask without hesitation whatever benediction you want from me. Kuvera had the power to give quite extraordinary benedictions. He had access to the treasury of the demigods of the heavenly worlds. Can you imagine what he can offer? And what did Dhruva Maharaj ask for? Srila Prabhupada explains in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. There was a king named Radhanath. He was the king of all of Orissa. He wanted darshan with Lord Chaitanya. But Lord Chaitanya, who was hard as a thunderbolt and soft as a rose, he made his thunderbolt appear to Maharaj Radhanath. He's a king. That means he's associated with materialistic people and materialistic things. His king Janasya Bhagavan Bhajanom Kasya Param Param Jikadaswa Papasagas. For one in the renounced order of life who wants to cross over the ocean of material birth and death to associate with a materialistic person is worse than drinking poison willingly. Hare Krishna. That's what you have to say about King Pratap. There were many attempts. He was told, but he's actually a great devotee. He said he may be a great devotee, but because the name king is attached to his name, he is abominable. Hare Krishna. And all his news was coming back to the king. So he decided, he sent a letter to the devotees, if I can't meet the Lord, because I'm king, I will give up the kingdom, I will give up my family, I will live in the street as a beggar. This was shocking. Delete the breath. Same type of determination was true. But then at the beginning of the Radhanath, King Pratap came as a street sweeper with that broom with golden handle, and he was sweeping the street for Lord Jagannath. That melted Lord Chaitanya's heart. And just previous to that, Radhanath explained to Lord Chaitanya that you asked me on the banks of the Godavari during your South Indian tour to resign from my government office in order to come to live with you in Puri. Well, I went to the king, Pratap, and I asked if I could have leave. And when I mentioned your name, he began to cry. His hair stood on end, his body, his limbs trembled. He was in ecstasy. He said, you are so fortunate. Lord Chaitanya wants you to go live with him in Puri. Ramananda was the governor of an entire state. The king Pratap only wanted to please Lord Chaitanya. He told Ramananda Rai, you can go, immediately, go to Puri. I will give you full salary for the rest of your life with a raise. And all you have to do is just go serve Lord Chaitanya. Ramananda Rai was so happy. He said to Lord Chaitanya that when I saw his love for you, I think that I have not even a drop compared to that ocean of love that he possesses. Lord Chaitanya said, actually, Ramananda, no one has love like you. But because King Pratap, because he pleased you, because he served you, Krishna will give him his mercy. Quoted this verse from Bhaktivedanta. The one who serves my devotee is most dear to me. Servant of the servant. That was the title of Tamal Krishna Goswami Prabhupada. Servant of the servant. Let us enter into the mysteries of this incredibly esoteric subject matter of being the servant of the servant. During the Ratha Yaksha, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing in the mood of Sri Radharani's love for Krishna, bringing him back to Vrindavan from Kurukshetra. When they came to a place called Baladandi, Lord Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra's cart stopped. It's a couple hours actually. And the people of Puri, the king, the Brahmins, the Daitapatis, they all come with offerings. Hundreds, thousands of offerings. They just put them all around the cart. They don't do it anymore, but they used to do it in those days. So during that time, Lord Chaitanya entered into a beautiful garden, secluded place, where he lay on a raised platform to rest, because he was dancing all day long. The Radhayachas in Puri are extremely spontaneous. Have any of you ever been? 2 years ago, I went with 2,000 devotees from our temple in Bombay. And we had all 2,000 devotees perform kirtan for the whole parade in front of Jagannath's cart. And there was about 900,000 other people there also. Big festival. And And that parade, there are so many ropes. There must be about 8 to 10 ropes for each chariot, and they're really long. And it appears like there's tens of thousands of people just pulling each chariot. It's a mob to get to those ropes. It's actually dangerous to help to try to get near those ropes. People are so enthusiastic to pull those chariots. And do you have Rathi actually checks this at all? So you know, we have these chariots that have steering and brakes, and also collapsible tops and convertible chariots. In Puri, there's no steering, there's no brakes, there's no need for convertible. And the chariot, you know, our chariot has what, 4 wheels? Jagannath's has 16 wheels. Balaram's 14, and Subhadra's 12. It's huge. And they make the chariots new every year. 700 to 800 fully grown trees to make those chariots. And they don't use any screws or nuts or nails. They're so expert. Generations. Ancestors they fit each piece together. They carve it so it fits together. But no steering, no brakes. So the Dayatapatis, the Pandas who are on top of the chariot, they're kind of directing which way the masses should pull it. And sometimes Jagannath just goes the other way. That happened last year. Balaram's cart, they were pulling to the right and Balaram was going to the left. There was thousands of people pulling like this and Balaram was going like this. It was incredible. He went right off the road. And you can't make him go backwards. There's no ropes in the back. So he just went right off the road to the left, to our left, instead of the right, and he went right to an electrical pole. Now, what are you going to do? He's the first chariot, too. None of the other, Subhadra and Jagannath, cannot move until Balaram moves. So everything was at a standstill. And what to do? It's right in front of the pole. He pulls the pole down. You know, everybody will get electrocuted because it's all electrical lines. They didn't have any installation either. They were very visible. So, Jagannath Puri, municipal technology. The municipality came out, the electrical department, and they just dug in the street with these, just digging and digging, these kind of manual drills, sledgehammers, and they went way, way down to the bottom of the pole. Meanwhile, someone climbed the pole and disconnected all the wires. And then somebody had these big sticks, and they were holding the wires up with sticks. And then they just uprooted the pole and threw it aside. All the wires were on the stick. And then Balaram continued. And well, that's not the option. And they never pull the chariots after sunset. So at sunset, wherever they are, the beatings just stay there overnight. So Balaramji, he made it to the end, to Gundicha temple. But Subhadra and Jagannath, they were still way, way back in the sunset. So that was the end of Rath Yatra for that day. It was 8 hours. 8-hour procession the first day. 8 to 9 hours. And then next day, the devotees rose early in the morning to chant japa in front of Lord Jagannath's chariot. It was just in the middle of the street, about 2/3 across the Radhanath path. And it was pouring rain, and there were about 2,000 of us just sitting, chanting japa with umbrellas. Everyone was sitting with an umbrella in one hand and japa beads in the other. And some devotees, I was just sitting in the street. And some devotees didn't have umbrellas. They just found pieces of plastic and put it on their heads and were standing there chanting. And the pandas, who usually don't like the ISKCON devotees because there's foreigners, they were watching us and they actually thought these people are serious. They're chanting japa in the middle of this torrential rainstorm right in front of Jagannath. They could be in their rooms doing it. They must have real devotion for Jagannath. Well, the next day, they actually proclaimed. They specifically reserved 2 robes only for the ISKCON devotees. And then the next day, it was about 4 or 5 hours. So sometimes Bhakti actually takes 3 days. In fact, the Dayatapati, we know Ramkumar, he told us that some hundreds of years ago, one time around the Yatra, just to get from Jagannath Temple to Kunticha, took a couple of months, all day, every day. Because at that time there was some torrential rains and there was actually rivers going across the street. And he actually had to make 6 chariots. 3 because they couldn't cross the river. Different ones, different sides of the river, chariot duties. So they have a wonderful, rich history and culture about the action. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing all day long. So when he came to this garden, he was resting. And all the dancing devotees, they were all laying under different trees resting. And the devotees, Ramananda Rai, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Gopinathacharya, they told King Pratapamudra to put on the robes of a Vaishnava, sadhu, and to go into the garden and to massage Mahaprabhu's lotus feet and legs, and to sing for him the Gopi Gita, the songs of the Gopi separation for Krishna. So he did that. He went in, and you could imagine, actually even before that, before that, during the parade, when Lord Chaitanya was dancing in ecstasy, so Radhanath Goswami, to protect the Lord's dancing from the crowds, he made holding hands, a circle of devotees around Lord Chaitanya to protect him. And then Kashishwar and Govinda made a second protective circle around Swarup Damodar. And then King Pratapamudra made, with his ministers, a third circle around theirs. And one time, King Pratapamudra was just watching Lord Chaitanya dance. So beautiful, so graceful, so full of love. His dancing was so beautiful. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami said, everyone in Puri, every pilgrim, every resident of Puri, all the priests of the temple, every tourist, every living entity that was in Puri, everyone's eyes were fixed on Lord Chaitanya's dancing. And by seeing his dance, their eternal love of God was awakened. Everyone achieved perfection just by seeing that dance. What is the dance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Lord Chaitanya is Krishna with the bodily complexion and a bhava with the devotional sentiments of Srimati Radhanath. It was Radharani dancing for the pleasure of Krishna. That's what they were seeing. The ultimate manifestation of beauty and love. Their hearts melted. So Lord Chaitanya, King Prataparudra was watching the dancing, but standing right in front of him was Srivas Thakur, who was also completely in ecstasy watching, but he was blocking the king's view. So Harish Chandra was one of the chief ministers of the king. So he very politely and graciously just kind of tapped Srivas and said, please move over, you're blocking the end. You're blocking the king's view. Srivas didn't hear him. He was not part of this world at that time. So he pushed him a little harder, and a little harder, and a little harder, and a little harder. And then Srivas Thakur turned around, slapped him right in the face. Prime Minister slapped him in the face by this sadhu. So he was very angry. So King Prataparudra, he said to Harish Chandra, he said, you are so fortunate. You have been slapped by this great devotee, Srivas Thakur. He said, I am so unfortunate that I cannot achieve such mercy. And another time, Lord Chaitanya was dancing, and everybody else was so wild in ecstasy. Everyone was dancing in different directions. So Lord Chaitanya actually fell right in the arms of King Prataparudra. He fell right in front of him, and King Prataparudra tried to catch him. And then Lord Chaitanya came to external consciousness and saw he was in the arms of the king. He jumped away in disgust and said, how abominable I have been touched by an abominable materialistic person. King Prataparudra's heart cracked to hear the anger of the Lord. He said, I was only about to join. He said, actually, King, he's really, internally, he's very pleased with you. But just to show an example to others, you have to speak like this. So can you imagine, after going through all this, he was informed that Lord Chaitanya said he was abominable, he was worse than a snake, he was worse than drinking poison. Now he's asked, go in and massage the Lord's feet and sing for him, Bhaktivedanta. So he was very humble and he came blessings of the Vaishnavas. To massage the Lord's feet. And he began to sing beautiful Bhakti. And Lord Chaitanya was so happy to hear this clearance. He said, go on reciting, go on reciting. And then he came to that one verse. Sravanamangalam Srimadatam Udrinantiye Udrikachana. It describes the glories of the preacher. This is the gopis singing to Krishna. The transcendental nature of the sound vibration through glorious names, pastimes, activities are like a river of pure nectar. Anyone who hears that nectar through their ears, when it enters their heart, it vanquishes all of their material sufferings and awards the ultimate happiness. Those great souls who distribute Harikatha, who distribute this message to others, they are the most magnificent of all welfare workers. when Lord Chaitanya heard this, he became ecstatic. He just came right, just leaped up and embraced King Prataparudra. He embraced it, bathed the king's body with the tears of his love. And the king in return was bathing the Lord's body with the tears of his love. And Lord Chaitanya said, "You are the most munificent. You are the most munificent. You are the most munificent." He went on reciting that verse over and over and over again. Lord Chaitanya kept embracing him again and again with such love. Srila Prabhupada, he sacrificed his life to give the message of Krishna to the world. How Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu must be embracing him and bathing him with the tears of his love. Unparalleled, historic. How he risked everything, sacrificed to give the message of Krishna in its purest transcendental form. Srila Prabhupada sent Tamal Krishna Goswami to China. For everyone is here who may have been there with him and know the story more intimate than I do. But what an incredible sacrifice he made. It's impossible. Communist China. No one went there. But Prabhupada gave him the order. He went. That's such an incredible risk. And nothing. So much danger. And he spread it uneven time. Now there's thousands of people, tens of thousands of people becoming Krishna conscious in China. How Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu must he embrace and bathe Tamal Krishna Goswami with the tears of his love. Prabhupada wanted book distribution. Goswami Maharaj. Prabhupada wants book distribution. There will be book distribution. Largest book distribution team project practically in the history of the sky. I don't know what happens. We went, there was one bus. We were just doing Radhanath festivals. It was wonderful. How many buses did it become?
6, I think.
6, 7.
So many here.
6 buses, vans, more hundreds of people. So many books. Most of them were new people that they were just picking up. Krishna Maharaj would sing, people would be attracted, they'd go into the bus, Tamal Krishna Goswami would be sitting there. And he'd preach to them. Some of these students who were just on a campus, on their way from one class to the next, to see these devotees sitting there singing. And they, what is this? Such a beautiful city, Krishna Maharaj, Gadharva, in the spiritual world. You want to know something? Go with the bus. Swami Maharaj. Like entering into his rev. They were on their way to class with their academic books, right? And by the time they came out of the bus, they had shaved heads, dhotis, and they had a book bag full of problems. Distributing Prabhupada's message, Krishna's message. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so pleased with giving the Taparudra. He said, "You are giving me so much nectar." He said, "You have given me so much nectar. I have nothing within my possession that I can give you to repay you. And Lord Chaitanya asked, who are you? You can't lie to the Supreme Personality of God. Of course, most of us have been doing that since time immemorial. What is he supposed to say? He's in disguise. The Lord asks, who are you? And King Pratapurusha spoke from his heart with full realization. He wasn't speaking about his temporary designation or name of a particular body in a particular lifetime. He explained what is his eternal identity. He said, my Lord, I said, I am the insignificant, fallen servant of the servant of your servants. The only desire I have in my life is to be the servant of the servant of your servant. In this purport, Srila Prabhupada explains, this is the ultimate benediction we can long for. It is the perfection of life. There is no higher attainment than this. And then he explained how Kolavecha Sridhar, he was so poor. He wore rags for clothes. He lived in a tattered little shack. He had no furniture. His only possession in his house was one little iron pot, which was so dented and old that Vrindavan Das Thakur says even the most desperate thief would not even lay his eyes on it. He was emaciated, not proper nutritional balanced diet. He sold bananas, banana leaves, and banana roots, banana flowers. Very fair price. Fairest price. And then he would just give half the profits, whatever little it was to worship God. Some or other survived. But he was always happy. All night long he would be chanting Hare Krishna. All night long. And the people around him were all wealthy people. Navadvip was a very wealthy place. It is explained that Lord Brahma specifically designed Navadvip to be such an incredible place of beauty, wealth, and learning, just to set the scene for Lord Chaitanya's appearance. Practically everybody was worshippers of demigods, or they were atheists, materialists. And he used to just scream at Srila. And he would say he's screaming all night because he's suffering due to hunger in his belly. They didn't see it as devotion, they didn't see it as love. They just saw it as a screaming of starvation. So they would just say, shut up! They'd throw a coconut out. Say, eat this, shut up. So I'm chanting. So during the Satpraharya Lila of Mahaprakash, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed to Kolavecha Sridhar his beautiful form of Krishna Balaram in Vrindavan, in the forest of Kadamba trees. He was singing. Lord Chaitanya transformed into that form. Then the Lord said to Sridhar, I will give you any benediction. I'll give you mukti, I'll give you mystic cities, I'll give you the wealth of the heavenly planets, I'll give you anything. Sridhar said, I have no inclination for any of that. And most of us would be thinking, I'm a devotee, but at least, let me live So in this purport of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Prabhupada says the only benediction called Recha Sri Narayana was to be the servant of the servant of the servant. And then he used the example of Sri Maharaj, who has access to the realm of all the heavenly planets, was offering Dhruva Maharaj any benediction he had the power to give. And Dhruva Maharaj only desired one thing, the benediction to eternally be the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord. This was Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's prayer. Gopi Bhakti Padakamayo Dasa Dasa Dasa. No greater inspiration. That is what Maharaj Pratap would try. That was the only benediction he desired. The Lord was so pleased with his humility that he manifested his divine privileges with Krishna right before the eyes of the king of the told the king, do not tell anyone what you have seen. He offered his obeisances and went back to the Vaishnavas. And all the Vaishnavas were so happy. Nature of Vaishnava. Prabhupada explains in this regard. Nature of Vaishnava is his greatest happiness is seeing someone else get the mercy of the Lord. Seeing someone else be empowered by it. Seeing someone else making advancement. The materialistic nature is we become envious when we see someone getting special mercy. Unless we get equal to or better than them. We're not envious if we get more mercy than someone. That we can tolerate. When someone's getting more mercy than us, someone becoming more empowered than us, it just doesn't make sense. It's just not proper justice. Sometimes the nature of material consciousness is envy or despondency. And the devotee becomes delighted, elated, ecstatic to see someone else getting special mercy. The devotees were celebrating from their hearts that King Pratap received such mercy. Mercy made it its recent. So Guru Maharaj, this is the benediction you will be asking for, to always remember Krishna in the spirit of the servant. Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is the status Purana, Avala Purana. Dharma grows the kind of Dharma. Srimad Bhagavatam deals only with the highest, purest essence of religion. Any questions? Dear elder godbrother, is about to enlighten us, or trying to neutralize the effects of
I'll enlighten us.
words.
I will enlighten us by repeating a question that I asked you in San Diego, probably 15 years ago, and I'll repeat your answer because it was significant, and I remember the answer. I once mentioned how every one of us, by our conditioned nature, has a desire to be appreciated, and oftentimes to be appreciated. And oftentimes, many of us are not motivated or motivated enough unless we know that what we're doing is being appreciated by our guru, by other devotees. I was asking you a question about that. And your answer was that the position of a Vaishnava is that He should not see how he's being appreciated, but he should see how he can appreciate others. That's his position. And that will actually inspire him ultimately if he learns to develop that mentality to appreciate others. So I just thought that would some way fit in with this. I can't say anything because you have all the realization, so I can only repeat what you have said.
When it comes from your mouth, it has spiritual potency. So we are late. This evening again we will have a program. 7 o'clock. Thank you very much. Thank you for tolerating. Swami really taught you to be total evaluation. Tolerant like tree, cut down the trees. Krishna Prabhupada ki jai. Krishna Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Radhanath Swami ki jai. Ramji Vaishnava Vrind ki jai.
Swami Maharaj ki jai.